This is Tania, the work from home wife of Atlanta. It is a pleasure to talk to you today about a really fun topic for me. My topic is how I knew that my husband was the one after just 6 short weeks. All right, so when I moved to Atlanta, I moved here to have a good time, to have big fun, and I had fun. I had a one-bedroom apartment that I called the Chateau. Even though so many of my friends had houses, my chateau was just as nice. I would have tea parties at my chateau. We would have all types of gatherings at my chateau. So I was excited. I was just here to have fun, here to have a good time. I wasn't thinking about marriage, but just like everyone, I had my list or my requirements, for, getting married eventually. I knew, what was really important to me. I was pretty confident. I knew myself at 26 years old. So number one, the number one most important thing was that my husband had to be God-fearing, okay? So by that I meant, someone who went to church, who understood the scriptures, and my husband was definitely that. So we talked about different biblical topics. We shared our thoughts about different scriptures. He took me to his mega church. That was my first time at a mega church. I was really excited about that. I was like, ooh, this is nice, So definitely number one. And I have to elaborate on the God-fearing aspect and kind of how that was so important to me, because I love going to church. I love the scriptures. I love the Lord, and that is still the same, So now I used to love, going to Bible study. Even when I moved here, I went to Bible study on Wednesday nights, and then I went to church on Sunday. Now I'm Hebrew, so instead of Bible study, it's Sabbath class. Instead of Easter Sunday, it's Passover, which is coming up, and I'm really excited. But I was really involved in just church and scriptures and things. I love the Lord. So that was really, really important to me, still is. So he had to be God-fearing. As a little child, my grandma would tell me, I know you're going to be a pastor's wife. You're going to be a first lady because you love going to church and you love wearing hats and dressing up, So just so you know a little bit about me, being God-fearing was a definite requirement. So that's the number one requirement that I had. Number two was that he had to be very generous. Okay, I love a cheerful giver, a generous person, a kind person. So my husband was very generous. He would give me a lot of gifts, big gifts, small gifts, just gifts. And it really doesn't matter the value of the gifts. It's the thought that counts. But he is very generous. Like, he would give the shirt off his back without a doubt. So number two, he has to be very generous, and my husband is very generous. So there we go. Number two. Number three is my future husband had to be an entrepreneur. So that was something that was really important to me. As a child, I would be my mom's bookkeeper for her cosmetic business, Annette2 Cosmetics, and I just had that entrepreneurial spirit, from a little child. And then, as a journalist right out of college, I had my first job, which was a nice job. But when I started selling makeup, I was like, oh, this is me. I mean, I can run my own business, I can call the shots, So I actually quit my first, real job out of college as a reporter to sell makeup. Okay, so entrepreneurship is really important to me. Eventually, I own a marketing firm, and I really loved marketing and sales and entrepreneurship. Just to even elaborate on that a little bit more, in college I had an internship at BET, and literally about 2 weeks into that internship, the producer of the show that I was interning for, she was let go. Okay, like I came in one morning, she had all of her stuff in her box, and she was being escorted out of the building. She was a very sweet lady. I mean, she worked for CNN, then she worked for BET for many, many years. Like, she was like the godmother of production. Like, she was amazing. And I thought, if she can get fired, anyone can get fired. So even in college, I was like, I don't know where I'm gonna end up, but I have to be an entrepreneur, right? So that was important to me. And so number 3, he had to be an entrepreneur. And when we met, we actually met twice in 1 week. Okay, so we met on a Monday night, and we, had some small talk, and my friend and I, we left. And before we left, I was like, oh, I know he's gonna ask me for my number. I just know he's gonna ask me for my number. But he didn't. So we left, and I was like, well, maybe I was wrong about him, And so Friday of that same week, we were in the same place, Atlantic Station. I mean, that was like the place to be in 2007. That was the place to be here in Atlanta. So we were there again, different spot, different group of friends, and he approaches me and he says, you look familiar, and I'm like, I know who you are. You're the guy from Monday night at the sports bar. I remember. But I was like, okay, I just kind of, it's like, okay, I'll entertain him a little bit. And while he was there, we were talking, and he gave me his business card, and he said, why don't you call me? And he said, I own a dry cleaners, and I have a martial arts business. Here's my, my card, give me a call. And I was like, ooh, he's an entrepreneur. I like that. So my husband is an entrepreneur. So that was number 3, very important. Number four, he had to be good looking. So being good looking is important, he is definitely good looking to me. And he was at the time. And yep, good looking, number 4, total requirement, right? And the last requirement is that he is and he was highly masculine, right? So just like Karen from Married at First Sight, I knew what she was talking about when she said, I want a masculine man, right? So yes, he had to be highly masculine. So he was a martial artist, and he's a Marine, and he, in my eyes, he's just tough, and he's strong, and I would go to work, and I would brag about him in the break room. I was like, oh, he's so strong, and there was this bodybuilder who was like 500 pounds with huge muscles, and he was like 7 feet tall, and you know, this guy, he pushed him like he was a little baby, and I would just brag about how strong, oh, he's so strong, and he's, oh my goodness. So, so he is, and he was, you know, highly masculine. So, my 5 requirements: God-fearing, generous, an entrepreneur, good-looking, and highly masculine. So that's why it took just 6 weeks for me to call my mom and to say, Mom, that is my husband. I know I'm going to marry him. And she's like, Tania, you just met him. What are you talking about? And I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, he is my husband. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. And she's like, Tania, you know you can tell me anything. You're my only child, but please don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. They'll think you're crazy. So I didn't tell anyone. And as a matter of fact, I mean, we were, you know, talking marriage very, very early. But we didn't tell anyone, you know. We had a, you know, traditional wait a year. You know, you get engaged and then you wait a year, and you know, and we did that. And so, you know, we were married on a beautiful yacht, and it was like very exciting, you know. And yeah, so it was quite a ride, you know, and it still is, you know, 12 years later. Well, 13 and a half years, married for 12 years. But it is great. And, you know, I mean, I don't recommend, you know, rushing into marriage, but for us, it wasn't a rush. It was just, you know, I guess I met his requirements, and he definitely met my requirements. You know, with all the talk of wanting a high value man, you know, I think about that, and I say to myself, you know, I don't know if it's important for a man to be high value, but it's really important for him to have high values. That's what's important to me. And this channel is about living your best life, right? And this is how I'm living my best life. So, you know, this is Tania, the work from home wife of Atlanta. Go ahead and subscribe. And if you or anyone you know is interested in working from home, you can go to pinajinc.com. That's PINAJ.com. All right, so it's been nice, everyone. It's nice to have new YouTube friends and followers. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.